Hello. I I am Natasha Venter and I am here grateful to be with you today, helping you go through some of your life stories. And I am so grateful, and it's going to be Mother Mary I'm going to be channeling tonight. So, and that's going to be coming a little bit later in the show and that kind of thing. So, um, oh, I got something on my badges. So it's one of those things that as we go forward and into our story, and I have this little tweaky finger, and I'll explain a little bit about that later. But I wanted to take off because I did dishes and stuff with it. So, okay, so today's show is going to be about emotions. And I know I've done shows on emotions before, but this one's going to be a little bit more updated into the realities of how can they really help us. And, every time that I talk about this, every layer comes out and, new understandings come out. And I know for me that I was called to talk about this because I just had a big weekend. It was a big weekend. And I am one that I'm Natasha. I'm an intuitive medium. I have been alive, spirit alive most of my life. I've been observing life. I have Mars in Cancer, so it's like Mars is the god of war, right? But it's like in Cancer, it's like, how do you negotiate your emotions through the war zone? And so with that, I've really practiced this. So being a double Cancerian that I am, and my Aries rising, which is water signs with fire sign, I'm married to two fire signs, Leo, double Leo, and Libra, which is an air sign, right? So there's that scale. So I've negotiated a lot of emotions in my life about how to bring peace into some tranquility into the emotions. The thing is, though, it's taken me almost a lifetime to really understand what anger means. And, I'm not one that I get angry very often. People around me go, how did you negotiate that without getting angry? But, at this lifetime, I was actually meant to find out what anger was. And I had a weekend last weekend, a weekend, and I'm so grateful for it because I haven't been that angry in a very long time. And the 5 years is what popped in my head. And so with that I just was like totally, I wasn't necessarily screaming and yelling. I'm not that kind of angry. I'm a boiler. But if you think about water and fire, what does fire and water do? When you have water on a pot on the stove, what is it going to do? It's going to boil. So I just sit there and boil, right? And it's not that I don't boil in just reminiscing, whatever that word is, revisiting it and revisiting it. Yes, I do that. My mind is like everybody else's, but what I try to do is see the purpose in it. How can I negotiate it? And I can tell you, I found a lot of joy in this anger moment. I found a lot of peacefulness in this anger moment. I found a lot of understandings in this anger moment. And that's what I want to help you with, is how do you find the purpose with these emotions? Now, emotions, people kind of don't give them credit for what they are, right? Let's start at the basics here. Emotions are our story. Emotions are these things that come to us. They get triggered. It's the trigger things, anxiety. Well, anxiety actually is fear. And people kind of try to separate it out. But it's kind of like, you have this blanket statement up here that says maybe anger, fear, happiness, sadness, whatever it is, right? And then you have underneath like sadness, depression, grief, all these different stories, right? And then in happiness, you may have joy, glee, and then in anger, you may have hurt, you'll have sadness, you'll have wisdom, you'll have, all these different things come off of these main vessels of the emotions. So when you really come down to the brass tacks of it, that basics of what you're going through, many times you can find out. So like grief for me, that's an emotion. Grief is an emotion, but it has a lot of separate entities inside of it. It can have anger. It can have joy. It can be you can go from crying and in anger, why did this freaking happen, to joyfulness of laughter when you see something. And it's extremes, right? The tears are totally extremes. The tears of anger and sadness to the tears of laughter. And so when you're going into this, you go into having these places, but when you go into grief is ripping off all the band-aids of who you are. It's really taking off a lot of things that you really thought that you were, and you're really not. I'm witnessing a friend at work that she's been the pillar for a lot of people. She's an Aquarius. She's been the pillar for a lot of people. Not anymore. Like she says, I don't even know why I'm here right now, because she's just lost her son about a month now, right? So she's just still in the thick of it. So she's in despair sometimes. She's in, that understanding of just total despair. And you can have that in grief. But grief is a vulnerability. It's a new understanding of ourselves. It's a new normal. Yes, we can still be ourselves. I didn't change in my grief. I didn't change who I was. I just took off all the different layers, so I became the truer me, that truer insight of me. Now, did that mean that I was done with the journey of finding myself? No, I'm still finding myself. And as my mother of heart, who came into my life for 20 years after my mother passed away, and like she said on her deathbed, Natasha, I'm a spiritual awareness person, and I'm learning more about my life now that I'm able to observe it through laying in my bed than living it, because we get caught up in the living of it instead of the processing of it. And so she's processed, and she goes, I learned more about my life than I have, because she was in and out of spirit, right? And so going into this, whenever we're in a moment, from the moment we're born to the moment we are not anymore, and then our spirit keeps learning. It's just this physical mind, body, spirit, the mind, body, emotions that go along with this. Because I do believe that our spirit has a little bit of emotions. They're not so tactile as the 3D body. Right? It's not as tactile. And, it's not like wearing clothes, because when you're wearing grief, it's like a heavy sweater that has tons of rocks in it, right? So going into this, there is this moment where we have these ideas of emotions. Now, the more that we can be friendly with our emotions and see the purpose of them, oh my gosh, your life can change, because it's a difference between reaction and interaction. Does that make sense? So if you're a reactor with your emotions, that's when you fly off the handle. When somebody says something to you, you react in anger or frustration or a trigger. Or if you are one who is let's say, very sad, and then all of a sudden somebody does something to you, you can blow off the handle and react. Now, we all have times where we're going to react. All time. We can react at any time because we're human, right? Last night I had an experience where I kind of reacted, and I wish I would have followed through with the conversation along with the walk, but I turned around and walked away. Because of the fact that there was a moment where I had to think, right? So I reacted, and we ended up talking later. The thing is, though, how do you move through these emotions and these stories? They are a purpose. They are an understanding. They are who we are. They're a part of our personality. Now, many of us carry a lot of things from family members. I did a session the other day, and wonderfully, this person was struggling with anger. And I looked at him and I said, is it yours? And he goes, I don't know. I go, who's that little boy that got angry? And he looked at me and he goes, you know what? I'm not going to give too much away here because it was a session. But he goes, yeah, I can understand where it came from. And you know what I told him? It's time to start putting that anger that is not yours. Take it from you and give it back to who it was. That could be a parent, a grandparent, a boss, a sister, a brother, a cousin, a life experience like being raped or something like that, lay it at the feet of this energy. Now, also too, since it's sometimes hard to give things back to someone we really care about, right? That sometimes you can lay it back into your family tree. We all have a family tree, right? So picture a tree and put it at the base of the tree. Because of the fact that you like that, Sharon, thank you. Because we're all in the middle of building who we are. And it doesn't mean that we have to be like, well, take this back. Well, we can, right? We can, especially if we're angry. Take it back. I give it back to you. You're more than welcome, Sharon. It's like, give it to something. And, it's like, but do it so that you won't regret. That's a trigger word there too. Regret giving this energy back. Lay it at their feet. Lay it at the family tree. Lay it in a box on their front porch, metaphorically, right? Or, write a letter to them and then mail it to Santa Claus if you need to, or burn it, whatever you want to do. Put it in the Bible, put it on your altar, whatever you want to do, right? So emotions are part of who we are, and we have to honor them. We have to honor them. I know for me, being a double Cancerian, I've been struggling walking forward sometimes because my emotions are a little bit, I'm not in an emotional roller coaster, but I have emotions in me and I do process. And I'm so grateful for the friends who are willing to talk me through some of these. Thank you, Veronica. You are a blessing. It's like sometimes these emotions, we need to process them, especially being a woman. Right? Especially being a woman. Now, there's some men that need to process it too, and some women don't need to process it, and they need to do what men do, especially you Scorpions, right? The Scorpion sign is one that you tend to like to deal with it yourself, especially Pisces, right? Aquarians kind of can do that too. I know that. So going into this, we all process things a little bit differently. Depends on what your astrology sign is and how your scenarios stand up. But I can tell you, going back to me in this anger moment, I really got that there's a part of me that changed. I'm still processing this. This was last week. Did I gain a new dragon? Did my dragon start yelling a little bit louder, giving me better boundaries? Did my Aries decide to wake up all of a sudden because it's a fire sign? Did I have this part of me that has been asleep, this Natasha part of me that has been asleep, trying to make peace everywhere, decided, screw that. Screw that. And so thank you, Sharon, for conversating here. So going into this, I'm not going to analyze it now. I'm going to move with it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy these new boundaries because I can tell you there's somebody that I have, a coworker that I'm working with, and she doesn't align with me. She doesn't really like me. I can understand that. I'm a likable person from what I've heard. The thing is, though, sometimes, we don't always align with everybody, but I'm done fixing it. I'm done trying to fix it. If she's not happy or they are not happy with me, I'm not going to try fixing it anymore. Well, I can't say that because I might, but and that's the boundary. Boundaries, sometimes when we're starting them out, they can be a little bit ebb and flow. They can be a little bit this and a little bit that because we have to practice to change, right? We have to pick. People are growly me. Yeah. So coming into this, that sorry, dyslexic here, so it takes me a second sometimes to read certain words. But it's one of those things that as we go forward in our life, that we are in the middle of doing things, and who are we if we don't negotiate what's happening around us? Now, I'm sending love to that person. I'm sending a lot of kindness to that person. I'm sending ownership for who that person is. They come from hurt, whatever their story is, right? And that could be anybody. That could be somebody at the grocery store. It could be your partner in your house. It could be whatever. We all come from somewhere, right? We all come from somewhere. So I can honor that. But how does it negotiate with me? And how do I emotionally interact with that? And that's what I'm talking about here, is how do we interact with that? Because we have these emotions. It took me, I'm still a little bit angry actually, which is fine. But the thing is though, what am I going to do with it? I'm not going to stay in anger. I'm going to stay in, oh, that's a good idea. Or, I like that idea, Natasha. Because this is some of the, because sometimes, our mind starts running, right? And, I'm noticing that, my old Natasha would stay in victimhood because I used to be one that would be bullied and all that kind of stuff. I'm past that. I'm into, okay, wow. Well, if that happens, I have some language I can use. Thank you, brain, for doing that. But I'm going to have to think about something else because I'm kind of ruminating. That's the word I was trying to find earlier. Ruminating is one of those things. So anger is a poison. I can agree with some of that statement. Now remember, your truth is your truth. I want everyone to remember that. I am a perception. I am an experience. So if you have another idea than I do, please, I honor you for it. Other people's angers at us can be more of a poison sometimes. It could be something that I've lived with somebody who I've had to really put up some strong boundaries with that anger seeping into me. So yes, it could be. If we sit in anger way too long, yes, it can be. But I'm saying in this experience that I'm using anger to experience a new boundary. And I'm allowing it to roar a little bit like my dragon, my story, right? My dragon is actually wanting to say, frickin' no, you're not going to be a pushover anymore. And so that's what I'm talking about with anger. It's not necessarily that so no, I'm responsible to self. Yes. So it's not that, if we ruminate with anything for too long, it's going to be more of a disharmony than it is a harmony. Okay. So going into this, I'm asking for you to be honorable about your emotions that are moving through. Because sometimes if we just say, I can't be angry. Nope, not going to be angry. Nope. It's going to start screaming and yelling at us until we are angry. So remembering that the more we can deal with emotions when they are here, when they are triggered, yes, I'm going to use that word, when they are triggered, it's easier to deal with them. Now, do we have to scream and yell at the person? No. We can scream and yell into a pillow. Now, be careful about the pillow you sleep with, because of the fact that's a lot of energy into a pillow, and then we lay in that pillow, and then our brain gets into that energy field. So I know for me, after this weekend being so emotional, that I started shaking out my pillow pretty much every night. Right. So coming into this, thank you, Sharon, that, it's a moment. So as you work through these emotions, give them a hug, treat them like your best friend, not the friend that triggers, not the friend that sabotages you. Emotions can sabotage you though, but being with that, right? Being with them, tell them that they're valid. Sorry, you're angry right now. I get it though. I get it. You're done being a pushover. Okay. Right? And I'm not necessarily a pushover in a way, but there is sometimes where there's certain people that I care about. And I can allow them to get in a little deeper than I would want them to. We all have somebody like that, right? We all have somebody like that. We let them in a little bit deeper than we should, because we have some kind of care for them. And we allow that moment to overpower us instead of finding our truth. finding our truth. So coming into this, how do you negotiate some of these emotions? Let them walk through safely. If you're angry at something, ruminate in it. Sit in it for just even 10 minutes. Let it move through. It might even be longer. Mine lasted a good 24 hours. But that's okay, because guess what? Boundaries were stretched and pulled during that time. Now, did I throw that anger at people? No, I spent the whole next day with my husband. He knew that, I'm not messing with you right now. That guy jokingness that they can do sometimes. He knew that today was not a big joking day. Now, was I sad? Was I not I was happy. Music came on. I moved with it. I found joy in the middle of finding my boundaries. So use the tools that these emotions are here for. Happiness. Oh my gosh. When you are in happiness, your whole vibration of your body changes to the better. So enjoy when you are in that. Yeah, it's one of those things. Thank you, thank you very much. It's a moment. It's a story of where we're at. So come into this with understanding that, we are allowed to be emotional. A lot of people were told not to have emotions. I was talking to somebody else today, and she was saying how she, as a kid, wasn't taught to have emotions. And so what is she doing with her kids? She's allowing them to have emotions, but she's allowing them to say, I'm angry right now, but I don't have my words. That's okay if you don't have any words. Sometimes emotions don't have words. Do you realize that? Some emotions do not have words. They have emotions. Sometimes emotions are just, right? Some emotions are just, there doesn't have to be any words with some of these emotions. If you watched my video the other day that I had about this, I think it was Tuesday I did it, but I posted it on Monday, that, it's a moment where I was like, I'm angry right now, and then it would move through, right? It would move through. And I allowed it to because I acknowledged it. Now, did it need to get screaming and yelling more? No, because I allowed that emotion to go. Like grief, you sit in it for a moment, sit in it for a night, and then move on. Not to say that grief is done by any means. Oh God, no. I don't ever want to say grief is done. My parents and my family has been gone for over 30 years, and some days it's like yesterday, and I have those moments. It's a journey. Grief is a journey. Thing is, though, sometimes we have to say to grief or anger or sadness or disheartedness or whatever it is, you had your time last night. Now I know you're with me still. But it's time to move on. It's time for me to do my day, and I'm going to have to be more neutral on today. I'll give you a time to talk later, but right now I have to be a little bit more in alignment for my life so I can do my life. And if you talk to your emotions like that, like they're your friends and stuff like that, it's amazing how they hear you. It's amazing how they negotiate you. It's amazing how life happens around you. So coming into this, we all are human. We all have emotions. Now, I have this other thing that I'm going to share, and it's fingers. Okay, I do a technique that's it's about healing, and sometimes when you hold your fingers, and it's a really light hold, it's just a very light hold. Now, I have something going on with this finger here. Okay, and this finger here is the finger is kind of like almost like dislocating, and I did something with it, and it's a little stiffer because I've been wrapping it, keeping it still so that the ligaments, and I've been doing like little motions while I have it bandaged, so I'm trying to strengthen the little muscles in it. But guess what? It represents an emotion, and it represents an organ. And that organ is processing my emotions. So what am I doing? Anger, frustration. If my body was telling me I was going to go through something, I'm an intuitive. My body is intuitive. So how do I negotiate it? So I'm going to share. Let's see, which one is it? It is this one. So coming into this, that there are different fingers that have different understandings, right? So your little pinky is the pretense and that kind of thing. The ring finger is about grief. So there's the emotion. There's the emotion is the squares, and the mentalness that we are in is the circles. Okay, so grief, right? And then we have anger here. So this one's about anger, which I'm learning to be angry, by the way. I am. It takes me a lot to be angry. One time I was so angry, and I wasn't angry again for another couple of years, that I saw my inner part of my heart beating. Oh God, that was kind of eye-opening for me. And then I went out and pulled weeds and gave myself a whiplash. So yeah, I have anger. But I choose to let it move through me a little differently now than I did then. My marriage was different. My life was a lot different. So then the first finger, the pointer finger, is fear. And then this one is the guilt. Okay. So if you hold it real gently, you can really help your body go through these emotions. Now, when you hold your fingers, it's almost like you feel the heartbeat of the body. And it's not like the beat of the boom, 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 but there's another energetic beat of the body. And when we are in the midst of this, so hold that emotion. You can hold two fingers if you want, right? Because each finger, okay, I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to go back to this one. So this one has different organs. You see how there's different organs on this one? And when we're dealing with these different organs, like this one here is the liver and the gallbladder. Well, I've been really working on my liver and gallbladder, because the liver and gallbladder, by the way, is part of the emotional base. The liver is part of the first of the organs that, after the stomach, that really processes what we are going through. It processes through our toxins. It goes through our nutrition. It goes through a lot of things. So our liver really gets hammered, and then our gallbladder comes next after the liver. And so going into how do we work through our life's being? So so if you're struggling, let's say, with your liver and gallbladder, then hold that finger. If you're struggling with the spleen, which is the thumb, and I think that's the stomach, right? Hold your thumb. If you're struggling, let's say, with your intestines, then hold your pinky, and and the umbilicus, then hold the ring finger. Because it's about holds help anger, yes. So I work in elementary school in the morning. I had this one young man that he was just tired. It was the end of the day, and he was discombobulated. He was angry. He was just discombobulated. So I sat on the back of the classroom as everybody else was getting ready, and he was angry. He was just angry, but I felt a lot of grief in his story too. So what did I do was I held my two fingers. Now, and what I asked was my soul's energy, my energy field, to wrap around his. Whatever was legal in that moment, because I know that I cannot fix people but I can support people. And so I would hold my ring finger and my what finger, the middle finger, and I held it pretty intently about helping. And I can tell you that he slowed down and he started breathing. He slowed down and enjoyed and just started breathing. But then I thought, okay, he's doing better now. And I took my fingers off. Guess what? He started rising up again. I started holding my fingers again and started breathing myself, having a calmness myself. And you can do this with a lot of things. So like, if you know somebody else is angry in a room, you can hold your fingers. And it's not that you're wanting to fix somebody, but support them, because I know for me, when I'm holding my fingers, it's helping my body process through that emotion, process through that moment. Does it heal it? Well, if you're processing it and you're allowing your body to process it, it's a form of healing. Now, I'm going to say grief is not healed. Sometimes anger is not healed, but we can have a moment of healing. Okay, I want to make that clear because life's a journey. So, coming into this, that you can have a lot of strength in who you are by working with something. So, remembering though that, as we go in life and we do things, that if we butt heads with something, like I was talking with another person I care for in our school, and she's younger and was needing to, we're at the end of the school year, so it's about assessments, and oh god, why? But another story, not going to go there. And she was like, I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go in there. I said, if you go in there and you work with it, there's going to be less challenge to it. It's going to be working with you, right? It's going to be working with you instead of going against it. So instead of her going against the test, she worked with it. And I said, you're not going to know everything. Make the educated choice you can. Work with it. But remember the things that you know how to do? Read it, try it out, stretch it. You may get the wrong answer, you may get the right answer. But do it. Work with it. And the more we can work with something, the more that the realities around us move with us. Because we're going to have to do things we don't want to do. Always. We're going to do things that we don't want to do. So coming into this, emotions are something that are here to teach us and show us. And it's about working with it. So talking about my finger that's struggling right now, yes, I'm going to call it a struggle. We're healing. We're healing on it. And so I'm holding it. Sometimes I hold my grief, because anger and grief have a lot of they're buddies in a way. They're very much buddies. Actually, every emotion that we have that it's attached to what I was going through, that it is a buddy. It is a buddy system. And but there's a lot of anger in grief, and people don't always realize that. And so if you can hold these fingers really gently. Now, you saw on one of them, and I think it was this one here, there's this part of it that's in the center, and it's called harmony, right? It's harmony. So I'm going to show you how to hold harmony. And you can feel better about this, or you may not feel anything, but I'm going to tell you your body recognizes it even if you're not feeling. So what you do is you cup one hand in the other. Now you see how I have my thumb is like, so cupping your finger like this, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to put your thumb inside your palm. And you see the lines of your palm. You're wanting to go kind of in the middle of that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to wrap your fingers around the palm that is in your palm. You're going to wrap the fingers around the thumb that's in your palm. So one hand is cradling inside the other and one hand is in it. And if you hold this for just a moment and you breathe into it, see if you feel anything different. Do you feel like a calmness that comes over your gut? Or do you have a calmness that just comes over your back or your kidneys? Do you have a calmness that just comes over your heart center, your beat? Do you have a calmness that just comes over your understanding, your mind, your emotions? You may have nothing. You may feel nothing. But I'm going to say you can feel a little bit of something when you practice this. Now, I do a lot. Sometimes when I struggle going to sleep, I'll hold my fingers and I'll start, like, let's say with my pinky, go to my ring finger, go to my middle finger, go to my pointer finger, go to my thumb. And you can go through this and just hold it for maybe 30 seconds to a minute and then move on to the next one. And you can start all over again. And then you can go and know. Sometimes when I'm really kind of in a disharmony moment, we all have them. A disharmony moment, I'll go through holding my fingers twice. But a lot of times, if you can find a way to negotiate and move this forward. Okay. So we're halfway through the show. Mother Mary wanted to talk today. Now, as I channel for understanding and grace. So even if you may not believe who I'm channeling, and I'm going to tell you, Mother Mary, she's love. That's all she is. She's no more or no less love. Yes, she is Jesus's mother, Joshua's mother. But at the same time, though, she is herself and she is love. And as she comes into this session, to me channeling her, listen to the words. I don't necessarily change. I close my eyes, and I don't know if I change or not, but I do bring in an energy field of Mother Mary. She does have wisdom, and she wants to be helpful. I know for me that Mother Mary has helped me more times than I can count. More times than I can count almost. So with that, I would love to remind you, she's not attached to any religion. She is love, pure love. So as I get ready, remembering that if you don't believe in channeling, listen to the words, and that's all you can do. I mean, that's, sometimes you believe, sometimes you don't believe, and that's okay. I'm not attached. It's the conversation. And if I have a few minutes, I will be pulling oracle cards after the channel. I don't know what time it will be. Mother sometimes likes to share. So I want to honor that moment. So just give me a second here as I align with her energies. And remember that when we channel through our being. So if she uses a word or two that I use, it's because she's channeling through my understanding. If she channels through somebody else, she's channeling through their understanding. So coming into this, she might find some of my words. And it might not. I don't know. But she channels through me, and that's what my brain allows. I'm not holding on to her like limitations, but it is my body. So I wanted to make that disclosure clear. Okay, she's coming in. Dear ones, oh, what loves you are. You are amazing how far you've come in your dance of life. I love that word. She is coming into her fruition too, just like you. So come into who you are. Trust that part of you that is starting to come out like a broken egg. You have broken the egg of what you have started your life as. Sometimes that egg represents the other people's beliefs, limitations, stories, experiences that you are. Come into who you are after that egg is broken. So remember that as a chick comes out of that egg, do they know who they are fully? No. Do they know who they are going to be when they are fully grown as a chicken? No. They know, though, that they have life. They have life. So appreciate the life that is emerging from who you are and what you are becoming. Because you are in an amazing place of awareness right now on this planet, many of you individuals are waking up into who you are to be. A cleaner devising division of the old story and the new of you. It's not necessarily new, right? It has been you all along. It has been cloaked of the invisible cloak that is in the storytelling. The invisible cloak, because then it's cloaking you of who you are, because that's other people's stories and truths. That cloak is coming off, and that's why sometimes you are too bright for other people, and they may not be able to witness you like you would wish they would. This one is figuring that out for herself. I just gave her the cue to why she has been having difficulties with others right now, because her brightness, her love, her experience of understanding is beyond what others can understand. And she is too bright for others. They will arise when they are in timing. That is not your responsibility, is it? Sometimes we have to go through the struggle before you come through your destiny of you. And remember, the destiny is part of the journey of your life. You have these spots, right? You have these spots where you are going to have insights and wisdom. There is going to be an understanding more and more as you come into this awakening of this planet. This planet is waking up beyond what it has before. Remember, most people do not understand that as the planet was waking up, before a catastrophe came upon it, the Great Flood, the earthquakes, the volcanoes at some point. We also had asteroids that hit this planet. And people were not allowed to stay because they were being limited for who they were. Your family of the stars, yes, your family of the stars, are watching to see how you are aligning with this new understanding. Your governments are figuring out if they can do what they have planned or if they cannot. Ooh, ain't that a tricky place, right? Power or more power? Do you think power will stay in power? Power cannot stay in power forever because it does not have the fuel to keep it going. The people of this world are waking up more and more. Believe in that. There's a lot of conspiracies out there as the word comes forward. Please let yourself move through with each one of those conspiracies and see if any of that, it does not have to be a full story, can align with some of the new truths that you're witnessing. You do not have to believe in everything you hear, but you can have an understanding of what you hear. Do you see the difference between an understanding and a belief? An understanding is movable. It is changeable. It is enlightening. It is a bloom of a flower that starts and then it goes away. Like going back to the chicken. Right? The chicken starts out as a chick. Then it comes into understanding. Now remember, a chick, once you show it where the water is and the food is, it will go back. Do not be a chick and be led to the wrong feeder or water station. It is time for you to discern what you are, who you are. Your food has been changing and will change more. Your skies will clear up more and more soon. There is some story that it will, and there's some story it will not. I am gathering right now that the star beings will help clear up your skies because they want to come onto this planet and let this planet feed them too. Their emotions, their story, their wisdom, their abilities. As you walk into who you are and what you are, remember that life is about movement, choices, and who you are. But every layer that comes off of you, the cloaks that come off of you of other people's beliefs, it is not always, because sometimes it is too bright for you, right? So as you awaken to these new truths, remember, sit with it for a little while. Enjoy what you are. Be comfortable with it before you really understand and speak it. That is a boundary also, my dears. Remember, boundaries are important right now. Boundaries are huge right now. What energy out there is not yours to attach to? What energy field or belief is not yours to attach to? Remember, boundaries are movable and up and down and in and out right now. You may have to dive to get one boundary as you leap around to get the other boundary. Do not exhaust yourself with doing the dance of everything that comes to you, for you, with you. Be prepared, though, to understand that thought attracts those things to you. So if you want something different, think of something different. We gave this dear one the mantra, I'm asking for divine healing on this. I will express why this mantra is so vital to the world right now. I am asking. Let's define that. I myself, the wisdom that I am, all that I am, the way that I am, the way I perceive this world to be, I am asking. I am asking. My hands are off. My understandings are open. My love is here to be with you. The experience is beyond what I can comprehend. I am asking for the wisdom, for the ability, for the action, for the shift, for the majorness of this world. I am asking for divine. Divine. Divine is part of the wisdom of the galaxy that you are in. The divine is part of the greater picture. Divine comes from the love source of experiencing the greaterness of what love can be. Divine is the rain, it's the sunshine, it's the amazing miracle of life. Divine. I am asking for divine healing. Healing. Healing is part of allowing, expression, wisdom. I am asking for divine healing, the ability for life to experience its miracle, the amazingness that I can't ever experience or judge or hold on to, the healing that is beyond concept. I am asking for divine healing lay your hands on the moment of healing. Let divine lay the hands on this. Whatever this is, this moment, this interaction, this person, this story, under this moment of emotions and being. I'm asking for divine healing on this. It is a huge miracle maker. Yes, it takes other people to align with it too. Yet, when someone is able to witness change, even if it's just a little, miracles can happen. I'm asking you to start using this mantra. I am asking for divine healing on this. Remember, divine is a belief of your certainness. It's not to be pushed on you as I, mother. I am not, like she said, this dear one said, attached to anything. I am of divine love, my friends and family, my daughters, my sons. I am of divine love for you to help you. If you are triggered into something, check in with it, be with it, talk with it, let it move through. That is part of the dimensional shift you are going through right now, is understanding and experiencing a lot of these moments so that you can be lighter. This dear one, even though the anger was heavy for a moment and down a little bit in vibration, but she used it as a springboard to move forward into who she is. Remember, life is a journey. Life should be more joyful than not. And that is a perception and an experience. You'll have a choice to change by changing it. There's a lot of ways to do this. Music, choose your music well. Find joy when you can. Even if you laugh, start laughing. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. See how your body changes. It is joyful, isn't it? You cannot stop laughing. Sometimes you start getting the giggles when other people laugh, right? Start laughing. It's time for joy to change the energies of thickness and doubt. Hi, Mother Mary. I'm with you on this planet at this time, touching heads, bringing blessings to you. Please remember, sometimes it is wise to shake, clap yourself, ring a bell, shake like a dog to relieve yourself of some of this energy field. Believe that you are a miracle and know that there is only going to be change for the better. Blessings be with you, my dear friends and brothers, sisters, children of mine, as I love you. I love you. May peace, tranquility, grace with ease, and divine healing in your life. Blessed be. Wow. Whew. I can see why she wanted to come in. I have to rewatch it to get everything. But that was, boy, I know I've been using, I'm asking for divine healing on this since the COVID times and the riots. Remember the riots that were going on? That's when it came to me. When the I have a right, Black Lives Matter, not the riots, but the protests. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. That when they came in, that this is when this mantra came to me, or affirmation. And I can tell you, I have witnessed great healing with myself and with those around me when I keep saying that. Blessed be on this journey. Remember, you can go back and watch any part of this. If you wanted to take a snapshot, go back and get the copy of those posts that I did about the fingers. Take a snapshot of the moment of that, if you can. And remembering, please share if anybody can use this. Please like, please follow. I'm so grateful to be on the Next Level Soul that my show aired, and I am so grateful for everyone that can be witnessing life as it is. So I'm just so grateful for life right now. In the midst of the ups and downs, I'm so grateful for my life right now. So I'm going to pull yes, Sharon, I'm actually in Washington State on the very west coast by the Canadian border. I am like an hour south of the Canadian border. Very beautiful area. So Veronica, I will be have a great evening. I'm going to do a card real quick, Veronica, for you, because I know that you got to go probably. Nova Scotia. Oh, Nova Scotia. Hello. Yes. We watched that show about things like that, of where they're doing the gold thing. Makes you kind of go, right? Woo! Okay. Here you go, Veronica. Okay. So, dear means to be gentle with yourself. Okay. You are doing very good at that lately, more than you ever have before. Your wisdom is gaining. So remembering that as deer walks through the trees and the grasses and stuff, they listen to their instincts. They trust the ground that they walk on. Remember, when there is danger, they'll stomp. So remembering, if you feel that stomping, that it's a moment. Okay. Then the high priestess came. And the high priestess is about you walking into your power. You're coming into your magic. Look at her skills. She's got a lot of magic. So the high priestess, hi, Jessica. Thank you for being here. The high priestess. So believe that you have the magic behind you. You may find the more pull at certain times because the moon. So you might find the pull more often at certain times to do certain actions, because you're choosing your loyalty now. You're choosing your loyalty because you've taken the mystery out of your life. You're uncloaking yourself. And that is going to be the majesticness of you. You're doing good, girl. You're doing good. Okay, so Veronica, that's you. Okay. Hi, Natasha. Got the last message. Thank you. Could I have a card if there is time? Yes, you can. For sure, Sable Island. Yeah. Thank you, Sharon, for being here. I love that cloak. Yeah, metaphor. Woo! Okay, Jessica. Boy, the eagle flew out. So the eagle, you have the eagle. You got the greater vision. You are in the midst of gaining yourself, Jessica. You are really finding your path. It's time for you to believe in you. Oh my gosh, you're coming to the end of a cycle here, and it's time to really see what summer's going to bring for you. Be open to new experiences, because you're trusting yourself more than you ever have before. And I am so proud of you. Your team is very proud of you. Look at the eagle, how strong it is, how stable it is, right? It's perched on something strong, even though it's not a strong branch, but it has wisdom, that ancient wisdom. So remember, you have the ancient wisdom with you. You have one more card coming to you. Because your loyalties are becoming stronger to the more right people for you, an alignment for the more right people for you. So remember, your loyalty is going to help you a lot. Trust what you see. People are going to show you who they are. Believe it. I am in that dance too, and I wanted to look beyond it because I like to help people, but yet it came back and snipped me one last time. So remember, Dogs can be snippy about things, but they're going to be more right than wrong for their story. Okay? So I hope that helped, Jessica. You're coming forward, my dear. You are coming forward. And don't worry about misspelling my name, girl. You're fine. Let's see. Yeah, so Sharon, I will do a card for you too, my dear. And then I'm going to end up going. So please remember that my videos are 2-minute videos on shorts. I'm here to help you, and I'm live every Wednesday at 4 o'clock Pacific time. This is for Sharon. So Sharon, just put your energies in alignment to receiving a card, and I would love to support you. There we go. Thank you. This is for Sharon. So remember, if a card, oh, deer didn't get in there. So if you have another card that kind of aligned with you that somebody else got, remember, cards sometimes come through other people. This one. So the dog, oh my gosh. The same story about a lot of that I've been talking about with dog. Remembering that loyalty can be very picky and choosy. Dogs don't like everybody, right? So be careful, Sharon, about who you are with, because that dog has been busy this show. The swan. You're coming out of it. My dear, you have been thinking one way of yourself, and you're coming out, and it's time to believe in you. It's time to really believe that you are a miracle and that you are shining light, Sharon. So remember, wisdom will come the more that you live your life. You have lived a lot of life. You're going to live more. So remembering that you have come out of what other people believe you to be and perceive you. Now, this is a mantra that came to me. How I feel about myself is how other people see me. How I see myself is how other people see me. That is a huge mantra for this card here, the transformation of a swan. Remembering that you are a miracle. You are coming into who you are. And the wisdom will be here for you, because dog has great wisdom. Even though sometimes those golden retrievers are kind of aloof, but they have great wisdom. All right? So I hope this helped many. I hope that if you are looking for a session, please go to intuitiveclarifications.com. I'm so enjoying helping people and the wisdom that is coming through my I'm surrounded with dogs. Then that, you know how they interpret people, right? You know how they interpret people. What a miracle. Time to learn and watch them a little bit more, right? So blessings to everyone. Please remember, you are a miracle, and your truth is your truth. This whole show is just a short hour version of what emotions are, because our emotions are a lifetime long. So I hope this short little version can help the lifelong version of who you are by acknowledging them, because many of us weren't allowed to have emotions. I was one of the lucky ones and was able to. Of course, being a double Cancerian, I really had no choice. They were going to get me one or another. But I have learned to walk sideways to get to where I'm going. Because even though I need to go forward, I'm checking out different ways to go. Blessed be to you. And remember that as you go forward and in your story, Sharon, nice meeting you, Natasha. It's interesting healing aspects. Thank you for coming upon my understandings, and I am here to help you. My mom, my moon is in Cancer. Yes, so is mine. So, those moons are about shadow work, right? Those in between dark nights. What does your brain think of when you're going to bed? When do you think when you're in those shadow works? Whew, that moon likes to stir it up, right? Have a good evening, and remember, you are stronger than you may think you are at this moment. Blessed be on this journey. I'm Natasha Venter at intuitiveclarifications.com. If you're looking for some private sessions to help you individually. Bye now.